when he hears a thunderclap.
So this is another one.
And it's a balk.
Yeah.
So the umpire calls a balk. Hold on, we got to listen to the thunderclap. Take a listen.
So he's on third with nobody out. 1-1 the count on Paulie. A huge crash of lightning as Contreras kicked. And it's a balk.
Wow. They're going to call that a balk, and everybody jumped.
Mother Nature gives Jacksonville a run.
All right. You guys remember a couple weeks ago,
Yeah.
a guy slipped off the rubber and they called it a balk. And
Yeah,
I
that's a
said
balk.
spirit of the rule, guys.
Well, that's-
Like balk is the balk rules to prevent misdirection, unfair play. Spirit of the rule, that shouldn't have been. Spirit of the rule, obviously there shouldn't be a balk. What if a dog jumped onto the field and attacked your first baseman? With that, but you're in your motion. Balk, sorry, nothing to do. We'll deal with it later. Like, there's.
What if a little rain comes down?
I agree with you
again,
on
common
this.
sense.
A strong
Common
gust
sense.
of wind.
Common sense.
I agree with you on
pretty
this one,
significant
Nick,
clap
but not
of
the
thunder.
other one. You slip, you slip.
Okay,
That's, you
fine.
know what I mean?
But you
I
agree
slipped and
there
missed the
should
layup.
be
Should you give it to me?
there should be a level of common sense.
Well,
applied
now
to
I
the
have
ball
a thunder meter out there, and
Yes.
how loud the thunderclap was.
Yeah. You know how the umpire knows in his soul? Did I jump?
He did
Did
it?
it frighten me? He did.
Did he?
He did.
Everybody
Can we see that
Everybody
again?
did. We don't
Did
even
the
need the
umpire
audio.
jump?
How about this? I'll be able to tell when the thunder
the
claps
umpire
by
was a
looking at
cool
the
Watch
umpire.
the umpire. There's going to be a thunderclap here. This guy's on
There's
third
a lot
now.
going
Oh,
on.
He's
right?
safe.
Now
Here
there's
comes the
this thing.
thunderclap. Let's
And
watch
it's
the
right.
umpire.
There.
No, he didn't move. That
He
guy
was
locked
he's
in.
a stone. I mean, he was like cool and then moved. Balk!
I don't think he moved.
He was a stone.
He was a stone.
Case
The
Case
Norfolk
closed.
Tides end up winning the game. So maybe
I had to
that's
bet on it.
weird. Start with the A's Braves in the first inning. This is that park in Sacramento that you love so much.
Yeah.
It's a nice park.
Lawrence Butler starts off the game with an inside the park home run. So he ends up scoring. Trust me on that one. Then
didn't
later
even
on
have
in the
to
night,
slide.
we're going to go to a different stadium. The Giants have men on first and third in the bottom of the ninth against the Phillies. We're still in California. Bailey drives this one, and this ends up also being an inside the park
What a
home run.
bounce.
The rare inside the park walk-off home run where the player is actually running, so perhaps it's a runoff home run. Brew, it's the first day in baseball history that has had a leadoff inside the park home run
Incredible.
and a walk-off inside the park home run that I'm calling a runoff. You said it was electric.
It was electric. I loved it. And it was no errors, wasn't a triple and an error. Straight walk-off
unique
home
bounce.
run. What a bounce.
I'll tell you what else was electric, that thunderclap.
It was electric.
Well, no.
Yeah.
The lightning would be electric.
Oh. Triple Wonderful. Coming into tonight, this is, I jammed a bunch in here because Dusty was trying to say, only do a few.
I
So
think
guess
this
what?
is much
I put
better.
3 highlights in this
Much
one.
better than that
Coming into the
last
night, home run standings. Cal had 35, Aaron Judge had 33, Ohtani had 30. Next thing you know, everybody hit one out. Cal's 36, Judge 34, Ohtani's 31. Cal breaks Griffey's mark for most home runs before the break for the Mariners.
Yeah.
Not all time. And Aaron Judge is
It's got to be close. He's got to be approaching the
I think
all-time
it's-
record.
Is it
36?
37?
I mean, 36.
Does?
I mean, if the all-time
36 a lot.
I think
yeah.
37 is the record.
The all-time record's 73.
Yeah.
And so again, like I understand it's not. So you would think the record of before the break would be high 30s.
Yep.
39.
But sometimes
that what
people
it
get
is?
out very
Is it
hot.
39?
No, 39 is.
Oh, 39?
I
Who
was
had
just
it?
told Bonds.
Oh.
The year he had 73.
I remember Cecil Fielder hit a bunch. Remember that? Remember Cecil Fielder?
Not 39.
Well, he hit a bunch early.
Remember Luis Gonzalez had that 56 home run season? That was fishy.
Yeah, a little bit. That's a weird one from the national pastimes. We're headed back to the gridiron. Friend of the show, Bill Barnwell, ranked all the playmaking groups. Just wide receiver, tight end, and running back. Eagles were at 1, Lions at 2, the Bengals were at 3, 49ers at 4, bro. After being number 1 in both the last 2 years, Barnwell writing that it's unrealistic to treat McCaffrey as a 17-game starter. for the purpose of these rankings. Just want to put that out
What did
there.
you just say, though, before that? Where were the Niners the last 2 years?
Number one.
Both years?
Both years they were number
Last
one.
year,
Oh, they were
Last
just
before
year
the
they were
injuries?
number
what they
one.
were.
in July.
Yeah, go ahead.
What are the expectations for San Francisco?
Well, first of all, I got great respect for Bill Barnwell. I think fourth is high for their skill positions, but they are healthy, and it's a good core skill position, guys. So I think that they are going to win the NFC West, 12-ish wins. So I'm looking at them as the 3 seed in the NFC. Like they've got really good weapons offensively. I think Purdy is good, very good. The defense, I think, with Robert Saleh is going to be improved.
Right.
I don't think Christian McCaffrey will be 90% of what he was.
2 years
and maybe
ago.
even much worse than that. But with him and Garrindo, they always have a good running game. And I think McCaffrey's value is a lot of times in the passing game. And so I think he'll still bring value there. So, yeah, easiest schedule in the league. Like, I firmly expect them to have a bounce-back year.
Okay.
Yeah, when you look at what happened to them offensively last year, so with Debo, Ayuk, and CMC, 2 years ago they scored 40 touchdowns combined, the three of them, and last year they scored 4. So it's a pretty significant
Still
drop-off.
Brock Purdy's fault.
Yeah, it's probably Brock's fault.
Do you want to argue about
I
Brock
just
Purdy,
saying-
or are
I
you
was
going to go to
talking- I was
commercial if we
talking-
bring up Brock Purdy?
I don't know where McCaffrey's going to be. That's the reason he ended up in San Francisco, right? Chronically injured in Carolina. They thought that it wasn't going to change, and he goes to San Fran, has the run that he had. But him at 90% of what he could be is still really, really good. I'm with you. I like Juwan Jennings a lot. You've got Kittle. I would expect them to be significantly better than last year. Everything that could go wrong last year seemed to have gone wrong last year.
But they weren't. The thing is, they weren't close last year. What you guys are talking about is them doubling their wins. Like, it's not like this is a team that had all these injuries, had all this bad luck, and barely missed out on the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's been their pattern under Shanahan. When in Garoppolo, you know what I mean? They'd have a 13-win season. Garoppolo's hurt. They win 6. He comes back. You know what I mean?
No,
So
they
that's kind of been
oddly
their
have either
pattern.
made the conference championship game or further, or missed the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know, since Shanahan's been there. So let's, and just because I can't not acknowledge it, when those 3 guys had 40 touchdowns, we did give Brock Purdy the credit. He almost won league MVP because of it. So it does kind of go a little both ways. But so let's talk about that though, because they used to get a lot of production from Debo. Last year they didn't. This year I'm very confident they're going to get even less because he's not on the team. So like Debo is a chess piece removed from the board. They used to get a ton of production from Brandon Ayuk. They paid him because of it. When he came back pre-injury, he didn't quite look like himself, and now he's a player who is he has been paid and suffered a catastrophic injury, a bad injury. A torn ACL is a bad injury. Catastrophic may be too strong. The history of that trajectory is usually not ideal, okay? Christian McCaffrey is a perpetually injured, awesome player. Like, that's who he is. He is now only older and only more wear and tear on the body after last year, the odd injury stuff. I think Juwan Jennings was unbelievable in that Super Bowl they lost to the Chiefs. He threw the prettiest pass anyone on the team threw all game. And I thought he had like a legitimate claim that, like, was he going to win Super Bowl MVP? And I also think that he is an awesome number 3 receiver. I think if he is your second best receiver, if he's your number 2, you have a below average number 2 receiver. They agree with me because despite having him under contract, they paid Brandon Ayuk and drafted Ricky Pearsall in the first round. We all like the Ricky Pearsall story that he came back from being shot in the chest, and the last few weeks of the season when I don't even know if Brock was, I think it was mostly with Mac Jones. Who was their backup?
That would have been sweet,
There was Sam Darnold. No, Darnold wasn't their
Darnold
backup.
was
Darnold was killing it in Minnesota. But doesn't matter. Whoever it was, because Purdy missed a game or 2, and Pearsall played well.
Who
I
was
can't
it,
remember
Josh?
who it was.
We're like-
Doesn't matter. Point is, Pearsall is an idea. And so
He's an injury.
Right.
guy.
And so
if he's healthy, I think.
Right, because aside from being shot in the chest, he had dealt with football injuries.
Yep.
And so And then there's Kittle, who is awesome, but the second oldest tight end in the league to Travis Kelce, who we saw last year in the last couple of years slow down a bit. I just don't see the Niners the way they were seen in years past, which was the most talented team in the league on offense. And oh yeah, by the way, stars on all three levels of the defense. One of the reasons people love the Broncos this year is because of the players they got from the Niners.
That's true.
And so I don't know why they'd be better than the Rams. I don't.
I agree with you, Nick. I don't think they're as good as people may be perceiving them to be, or as good as they were a few years ago, but they're not as bad as they were last year.
No.
It's nowhere close to what we saw last year. And really, when you look at it from an injury perspective, from all the noise in the offseason, the noise within the season, you know, the issues they were having, the kicker was bad. I mean, it was item after item after item that and sometimes you have years like that.
Also,
Yeah, I don't think they're what they were 2 years ago, where everybody thought they were the best team in the league.
and steady hand of Mac Jones in the quarterback room.
Well,
Should elevated play from everybody.
Yes.
A special edition of the Bud List coming up next.
That came quick.
Zepbound means change,